Greetings, folks. Review time. Not a horror film. No, far from it. A film I didn't even want to go and see, to be perfectly honest with you. Bohemian Rhapsody. Now, it's been out for like a week or something, maybe a bit longer, and my wife wanted to go and see it. I had seen the trailer for it, and yeah, I was blown away by the trailer. I thought, wow, I'm not into biopics and that sort of thing, you know. Although I love my music, and I love Queen, I love the legend of Freddie Mercury. And I was kind of smitten with the trailer. Then I saw another trailer for it and I wasn't so smitten. And then the reviews started coming in and I was even less inclined to go and see it then. And it's only because me and my wife are both off today. And she suggested, why don't we go to the flicks? We've not been in the flicks together for ages. And I thought, are we going to see Halloween? Are we going to see Suspiria? No. We're going to go and see Bohemian Rhapsody. Anyway, another one bites the dust, eh? But yeah, I went along, and with my expectations dramatically lowered, and initially reluctant. Well, you know what? Even going in knowing that this was not going to be an accurate depiction of Queen and, more importantly, the interaction and creativity of Freddie Mercury, without, you know, aggrandizing him even more than his mythic stature already requires, I still enjoyed myself. The film has enormous problems, and I'm going to say right now, it's not a good film, but it's a film that you can enjoy. I didn't expect to. And why do you enjoy it? What's his name? Rami Malek, who plays Freddie, you know, the iRobot guy. Oh my God. Or Mr. Robot. He's outstanding. Once you get past the first 5 minutes of watching him appearing to struggle with those humongous joke shop teeth, Jesus Christ, he's like a bloody, you know, a megalodon with these things. And he's like, my God, are they going to keep this up throughout the entire movie? No. The weird thing about it is that his performance, his embodiment of Freddie is so outstandingly authentic and intricate and nuanced and believable. Yeah, you see past those fake teeth and the fact that his tongue is having to work, you know, 10 times as hard as a normal tongue just to enunciate any kind of syllable. But yeah, his performance is actually electrifying. It's just a shame that the film that surrounds him and the cast that surround him, who all look the part, don't get me wrong. I mean, what's his name? Oh, hang on a minute. Gwilym Lee. Gwilym Lee plays Brian May. And oh my God, that is a dead ringer. An absolute dead ringer. And the guy who plays Roger Taylor, another dead ringer. And the little lad from Jurassic Park, Joe Mazzello or something, he plays, you know, John Deacon. Oh my God, who'd have thought? Did he borrow some of those T-Rex teeth and give them to Rami Malek? No. Let's not dwell on the teeth. Let's not forget that it's because of those teeth that Freddie could sing so well. He had more teeth than the average man. Yeah, so it's a condensed story. We do start off in 1970 and we do head up to Live Aid, obviously. But the film will treat that meteoric rise, then sort of faltering step, the usual run of, you know, a showman, a performer, a band that reaches superstar level, their struggling climb to fame and glory, and then they hit the high spot, and then there's fractures in the group. This, that, and the other take place. Personal lives are explored and exploited. Well, one, Freddie's. And the media then turns on him. Then, of course, you have the horrible shadow of HIV and AIDS hanging over his head, which only creeps into the sort of the last quarter of the movie, really. And therein lies the film's inherent problem, is that they circumvent so many great things in the band's career and just pick out little tiny high points with horribly cliched moments that get them there. Like, you know, his signature thing with the mic, in fact, he can't get the mic free, on his first ever gig. And then that's how it becomes, whoa, I'm going to swing the thing round. It wasn't quite like that. The band did not split up as many times as they appear to in this, nor were the band as overly wet, sycophantic, and, overly nice and twee, because, apart from Freddie, Brian May comes across as an absolute, a fucking just a damp cloth. He may look the part, but when the camera's on him, he looks the part, but when he opens his gob to speak and deliver any kind of lines, oh, it just falls so flat, and it's almost like someone off CBBS, it's CBBC, the kids' bloody channel. It's like more like a drama from their sort of stable. It's not good acting at all. Who's the guy that plays? Ben Hardy plays Roger Taylor. There's most of the friction between him and Freddie. It comes there. But even that's done with kid gloves and is just kind of sparky for a couple of seconds, and then it's over and done with. You don't get any sense of real unity or disharmony within that family of the band. It's all done very, very cliched, very contrived. The build-up to all the songs, I was led to believe that this was like a greatest hits, and that the downside of it was the film around the performances. Once Freddie's on stage, once Queen are on stage, the film is just tremendous, and it's just dead exciting. And that's all it is. There's nothing in between apart from banality. Sadly, there's all too much in between the songs and too much banality. A few funny moments, a few touching moments. Freddie's infatuation and initial love with Mary, who's played by Lucy Boynton. I've got little notes over here. Lucy Boynton. She's good. We all know where it's going, and the sense of, sort of broken-hearted tragedy. Freddie doesn't know what he is, what he wants, other than fame and fortune, and his one vision. She knows, she suspects early on, even though he's given her a wedding ring and all this, and and they've pledged true love for each other forever because only the two of them believe in each other. That's all very touching, but sadly, when it peters out, it does just peter out. We've seen it coming, she's seen it coming, and there's no, your heart doesn't really break. The touching moments come earlier. So you've got all this, and the kind of the really naff montages of bringing the greatest hits, the big smash records, how they were born into fruition. These little ideas, a farmyard, pouring beer on the drums, having nails cascading, putting a can of beer on the piano string, all this sort of stuff, all this creativity. That's done in one brief montage, and then it's pretty much forgotten about. We Will Rock You, yeah, you're going to have the stamping of the feet, dum dum tch, dum dum tch, yeah, and it leads into a performance. That performance isn't enough once you've had that build-up, so you're waiting. I was all the time waiting for these big musical numbers to really come in and wallop me, and of course they do at the end. It culminates obviously in the Live Aid performance, which I saw at the time, and and they pretty much play this beat for beat. It's almost a complete and utter reenactment of their spot on stage at Wembley Stadium, and I can't deny it. That is exciting. You've built up to that moment, but there's a problem with that as well. If you're really a big Queen fan, you're going to play these records. You're going to watch that performance. Why would you watch this film? You're going to get a jaundiced version of Queen's background, how they came to be, and of the interplay and the inventiveness as a cohesive unit. When the band worked together, they were genius. The myriad little fractions here and there are kind of blown out of proportion. I mean, when Freddie goes on for his solo career, well, there was no friction with the band. Please do correct me if I'm wrong, but he did that and Queen still existed. There was no arguments or argy-bargy about that, so why is that got to be there? Plus, this whole thing about the looming shadow of AIDS, yeah, He's got it. He comes clean to the band. But the film inevitably, because of the structure of this narrative, treats their bust up, him discovering he's got AIDS, there's no cure, he's been sort of betrayed by a fella that he was infatuated with, who led him astray, and wasn't giving him the calls about the Live Aid gig and their participation in it. So finally, he's on bended knee. I've got to come back to the band, and they finally accept him back for one. It's almost like for one last time, because then he says to them, I've got AIDS, I've got HIV. There's no going back from this. You're thinking, if you just came to this movie without prior knowledge, which is going to be hard to do, but you're going to think, oh God, this is going to be his farewell performance at the end. Backstage, there's going to be a quiet moment as he just slumps in a couch, roadies everywhere, and Freddie just goes. He lived on till 1992. He had many, many more records after this. So I appreciate, the thought that goes into this, but it's a much bigger story to tell. You've only told a partial story of Freddie Mercury, but why is it just Freddie Mercury's story? Freddie Mercury, and the film does try to do this. It will try to say, because it's actually in the script, the band, you're nothing without me, but I'm nothing without the arguments from him, your songwriting, and whatever it is you do over there. It tries to be so nice and to smooth over all the cracks, as well as exploring, the downside of fame and fortune and being such eccentric OTT characters that inevitably, if you're shortchanged, because you're not getting the true picture, you're getting a very jaundiced version of events, I feel, which will work well for most people, most cinema-going multiplexers out there, who might think they know Queen, they might think they know rock music, they might think they know what goes on in the music industry, and this will only pander to, this is what they're meeting managers and all these, the head of EMI, Mike Myers, who makes one of the most groan-inducing jokes, because famously, he's the guy that spurned them when they gave him Bohemian Rhapsody. This is going to be our next single, and he said, well, what is it? What does it mean? And they have a big mad argument with him, and they take the piss out of him, something chronic. And he says, look, this song, yes, I recognise the musicianship in it, but, are the kids going to put this in the car and crank it up and headbang in their car to it? You're Mike Myers from Wayne's Wild, yeah, we all remember Bohemian Rhapsody, yeah. And it's just like, did you have to come out with a line like that? And it's just, it's crowd-pleasing subtleties which are anything but subtle, which kind of, they fall flat, and you don't just go, it's clever that, you just go, they went there, they did it. There's a lot to dislike about the film, but wrapped up in the performance of, what's his name again? Rami Malek. Oh God, I am so bad with names these days. He is fantastic. Now, are they singing? No, they're not, are they? They are miming literally everything here. And of course, then you've got the moment where they go on the BBC for Top of the Pops, and they say, what? We're not playing on instruments. We can play these, We can sing. And no, this is the BBC. You just lip sync. You just mime. We'll play the tapes. You just mime to it. Well, that's what you're doing in the film, and you may look good, yeah. But it. But I don't know. Are there some bits where Rami Malek actually does sing as well? Please do tell me if that's the case. I thought there were some moments, perhaps in the the rehearsals and when the songs are coming together, maybe he was doing those bits there. I know he's not doing them on stage. I know that. And also at Wembley, the CGI crowd. Oh, that's a bit chronic, that. And there's scenes in New York on the streets. Well, it's not New York, is it? I've got a feeling they filmed some of this in Liverpool, where I work. We've got film crews there every damn day doing stuff. I've seen the street outside my place turned into Moscow, into Paris. I've seen the cars from Fast and Furious lined up there. Oh yeah, Merseyside, Hollywood. The UK's Hollywood. And Kilt-Man always struts past, hoping to be seen. Hey, that guy there with the mad hair and the short skirt, get him over here. So I see stardom beckoning for him. Yeah, so, and again, this whole film, you might see, New Orleans, Vegas, wherever they're playing, Germany, wherever. Like the name tag of the place, the destination, will pop up on the screen, and you'll see bits of them on stage. I mean, okay, they're cutting corners there. You don't need to see them getting off planes all the time and genuinely on location, because this is not a big budget movie. No way is this big budget. But you do get the sense that despite the events having huge global, impact, the film is very, very small. It's jam-packed full of intimate scenes, and it's Bryan Singer, X-Men's Bryan Singer, directing this. And I didn't see any of his. I didn't see any visual Singerisms. Not that I could really actually name any Singerisms, to be honest with you. But I'd never known it was him directing it if his name hadn't come up. And he seems to close-ups. Oh man, there's a lot of close-ups here. Usually of Malek's face as Freddie, just Freddie. And well, why not? Because as much as I'm sort of pissing on the parade of this movie, as I said at the start, I did enjoy it. I did, against my better judgment, get swept along in the intimate story. As contrived and as abbreviated, as truncated, and as narratively stitched together for, that'll make good cinema. That'll make good cinema. Oh, let's put that bit in. Oh, hang on, we don't need this. We don't need this. You don't need Flash Gordon in there. You don't need Queen doing the score to Flash Gordon. There has to be a reason for this. That was one of the biggest turning points. In the 70s were great for him. Then he hit 80, and it was another lease of life for him, another burst of life. And Flash Gordon was immensely, important to that. It was a crucial element. Not mentioned. And unless there's even like a little throwaway joke somewhere, there could be. But I didn't pick up on any. How could you leave that out? And that isn't just me being the movie buff that would like that in there. That was absolutely essential to their stratospheric, climb to stardom, to their legendary, status. So I can't get that at all. I know that Brian May was heavily involved in the production side of this. I've heard lots of interviews with him on the radio, lots and lots, and I've seen him on Lorraine and stuff like that. Really big in this film up, and loving these chaps for doing what they did. And I like Brian May, I do. He's into the stars, he's into conservation. I like the guy a lot. Great hair. But I think you've watered down what could have been a really good dramatic biopic. Now, whether you focus on Freddie or whether you took into account the full range of talent and input that every member of the band had. But bizarrely, the worst character is Brian May, isn't it? He is so poor. His reactions, his timing, it's just on stage, strumming that guitar, that works. Shaking that big curly head, that works. Speaking any lines, fuck no. No. Terrible performance. So, let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's cut to the chase. Is it worth seeing? Well, most of you have probably seen it already. Yeah, it is. It is worth seeing. It's worth seeing for Malek's performance as Freddie. It's worth getting that little. Well, Freddie's not here anymore. And does it do him justice? I don't think it does him a disservice. I think it does Queen a disservice as a band, as a creative group. But I don't think it doesn't rain on Freddie too much. I think he comes out of it really well, and I think I like the indecision. I like the lack of identity, the personal struggles that he has. I think it was right to address that, I don't think they did it in the right way. See, this is the thing. All the elements were there, the songs, performances, the look, the backstory. All these elements are in there, but they're mostly not dealt with very well. So, great endeavour, pretty much piss poor execution. But it doesn't stop you getting involved in, the momentum of the film itself. If you forget that he had another X amount of years to live, you could happily see this as, that final moment, that last showboating, flamboyant explosion on stage, solidifying his legendary status. Yeah, in that particular capacity, it works. But there's so much more that could have been done to it, and I can't help but feel that another Freddie film should be out there and should be made. Freddie and Queen, or just call it Queen, the movie. Just do something like that. There's enough material there. In a way, it's kind of weird that there isn't another one on the go, because remember that the phases when you have a lot of similar theme movies coming out at the same time. Most notably Robin Hood. I'm surprised there wasn't another, like a TV movie version of the Freddie story coming out at the same time. But we've got this one, and songs are great. It's just a shame he didn't get enough of them. So I'm going to give this, again, the ratings. Who cares? They're just random numbers. If I give this a 6, which I'm going to, a 6 out of 10, that might be 8 to somebody else, or they might go, oh no, a 6 to me. Oh, you might as well give it 2. You might as well give it fucking 2 out of 10, because God, 6 is nothing. 6 is better than average. 6 means I actually enjoyed myself. But 6 also means I've knocked points off because it fucks up several big elements. So, chaps, Bohemian Rhapsody. Keep rocking, keep head banging, yeah, and Flash. See you later.